right, so the email reads like she knows her husband is planning on buying this expensive-ass truck, but he's trying to do it behind her back. She already knows about it. Mo's got the email.
I recently found out that my husband was planning to buy a truck behind my back without informing me, and I'm absolutely furious about it. We've always had separate bank accounts, and I'm wondering if that means we're no longer expected to communicate about large purchases with each other. To give you some context, my husband and I have been married for 5 years, and from the beginning, we decided to keep our finances separate. We both contribute equally to our shared expenses, such as rent, utilities, and groceries, but we've always maintained our own accounts for personal expenses and discretionary spending. Now, I've always assumed that even with separate bank accounts, major financial decisions, especially those involving substantial sums of money like buying a vehicle, should be discussed and agreed upon as a couple.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But my husband seems to think otherwise. He was going to buy this truck without consulting me or even mentioning it until it showed up in our driveway. While small expenses here and there make sense with separate accounts, large purchases are long-term financial commitment. Also, I don't subscribe to the idea of his money and my money. Our separate accounts are more for convenience. However, if he lost his job tomorrow or I lost mine, I would assume we begin sharing the same pool of money. I also feel that when it comes to our future, we should be able to view both of our incomes and accounts as our mutual security. I mean, if he goes broke, I wouldn't leave him on the street. Therefore, any irresponsible spending does have the potential to hurt us both. So, I'd love to hear from other couples who keep accounts separate. Are there unspoken rules? Or is he right to feel that he can spend, quote unquote, his money any way he chooses?
So this is interesting. So let's ask Cassie and Kristen this. Kristen, you are the breadwinner in the home.
Correct.
So is there an amount that you and Bart have agreed upon that, look, if we're going to spend more than blank, I'm going to run this by you?
There isn't. Like, it hasn't been like a set amount, anything over this. We're going to check in with each other. We share, all of our funds are in one account. We share said account. We have multiple savings accounts, etc. So when it comes to like that primary checking account where most of the stuff gets paid, or like the credit card, because he likes to get his cash back, so we put everything on the credit card and then we pay that off. So he, like, prime example, yesterday he's doing some major work to the backyard and he has to buy sod and compost, and that is expensive. So he was telling me and then breaking down how much it's going to cost. So anything like that is going to be like in the thousands. Absolutely. Like, you tell your partner what's going on. And no, I'm not going to say, no, we're just going to have dirt in our backyard for our son to play with. For a car, absolutely. That's a joint decision. Like, you don't buy a car without your significant other's input, because that is a long-term payment, and it's even though you have separate accounts, it's our money, not your money.
How about you, Cass?
Yeah, if it's not an agreement, but it's kind of how it's sorted out. If it's a single one item purchase of like $200 or more, usually we'll tell each other so the other person can ask why or veto. But if it's like an Amazon order of a bunch of stuff we need that's over $200, no. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm like, yeah, we need this for the house, and then we have a discussion about it.
Yeah, I think this is a major breach. Some would even say it would be financial infidelity.
Especially that you're hiding it.
Right.
Like, why would you not consult your significant other while you're like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a car, and like talking it out and talking about your different options, new, used, what type of truck you want. Like, that's a conversation you have with your partner.
If we were talking about saving money on the side, right, and now you have a nice little nest egg of $45,000, which a truck might cost or might not cost, we'd be saying, oh, that's for sure financial infidelity. But if he's going to spend this kind of money, not run it by her, and vice versa, that ain't fair.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I've never been in a situation like this, but I like to believe that if I were in this situation, the only way I wouldn't say anything is if I thought you were going to say no. Then I'm not giving you the opportunity to say no. But I definitely think a purchase this big, you should run it by your partner.
Yeah, well, most people I know, when they buy a car, they normally have to get a loan from somebody. And if you're a couple, doesn't that affect both of your credit scores? So to me, that would be the biggest infraction here. Like, yes, it might be quote unquote your money, but it's still something that could potentially affect me and my financial future. And I think that's completely crossing a line here.
Yeah, put a stop to it before it even happens. Talk to him about it now.
The Bert Show.